Hello, my name is Jonathan,
My name is Michael.
and we are graduates of the Oklahoma Academy Class of 2018, and we'd like to give you an update on our senior trip.
We had multiple options that we were considering for our senior mission trip, and one of those was Alaska. That in the end was what we felt that the Lord was leading us to.
And as you also may know, if it wasn't for your generous support, we wouldn't have been able to embark on our mission to Alaska. Now we want to give you an update on how we were used by the Lord.
On our trip to Alaska, we had a layover at Seattle, and we thought we had about an hour to rest and be ready for the next flight, but no, it was like immediate. We had the next flight, and then when we got there, it had been an overnight flight, so we were all very tired, and we just immediately unloaded our stuff, got into the church, and fell asleep. We must have been asleep for like half the next day, and because we were really tired.
The next day we got hard to work and started organizing ourselves and preparing for the different things we're going to do. We were going to do some concerts there, some cooking classes at 2 different locations, and 2 health expos.
We were able to speak in various capacities at 2 of the local churches and doing their church service for them.
We provided music for a multi-denominational Good Friday service, and were thus able to reach out to people we wouldn't have been able to otherwise. Unfortunately, due to the fact that we're accustomed to the Oklahoma climate, a lot of us wound up getting sick partway through our trip. However, we did not allow this to slow us down, and we were somehow still able to give concerts and keep our singing voices intact.
There were a few instances when it was thought that we would have to cancel a concert or it just wasn't going to work out, but in every case, our voices were up to it. I believe God came through to allow our voices to serve Him.
One of our main projects was setting up a health expo, which explored topics from nutrition to rest to trusting God, and we got to see as the locals were brought to a greater sense of their need. We were able to not only improve their quality of life, but also put them in touch with the local church family.
The stations followed the New START acronym, which stands for Nutrition, Exercise, Water, Sunshine, Temperance, Air, Rest, and Trust in God.
At each station, one or two of the seniors would be there to greet an individual and walk them through the important biblical principles associated with that area of health. Then we would measure their levels or have them perform a simple test so they could see where they are and see where they need to be. During our health expo, we also provided services for children to keep them active and keep them learning about health while their parents were enjoying the expo. While the health expo was in progress, several of the students, along with one of our sponsors, offered a cooking school for the local community as well. The cooking school taught the attendees how to prepare healthy vegan and vegetarian dishes, taking advantage of the products that they have available to them. In addition to producing really great tasting food, these classes were really well received by Adventists and non-Adventists alike.
In fact, one of the attendees was so impressed by us and so gracious as to pay for us to be able to visit the local ice sculpture park, where people had taken blocks of ice and carved them into many different elaborate works of art.
While we did enjoy seeing the unique art, some of us who weren't quite dressed well enough wound up falling sick. On the last days of the trip, we got to explore the Alaskan landscape via a snowmobiling excursion.
Michael, this is awesome, isn't it?
And we also visited the Chena Hot Springs, a beacon of hot water among the snow.
It was a very beautiful experience to be able to be in the hot water, swimming, surrounded by hills, mountains, covered in snow. It was spectacular.
Another exciting thing we got to see was the Aurora Borealis. Yeah. Though we arrived at the end of the season, we still got to see some spectacular light shows.
Early on in the trip, a spiritual lesson was drawn by one of our sponsors from the Aurora Borealis, and that was that we are to be a light in the darkness, just as the northern lights pierce through the blackness of the Alaskan winter.
We went to Alaska, we saw the people, we talked to them. But you also, through your contributions, directly influenced and impacted many people's lives.
We thank you so much for your support of the continuing mission of the class of 2018.